see. Oh, hey Meg. I'm trying to figure out how to add you on here. Okay. Hey guys. I am trying to get my friend Meg on here. Trying to get my camera right. Here she is. Hey girl. Can you hear me? Hello?
My screen was
Oh,
totally
can you
black.
hear me? Oh gosh, I know I
Always,
couldn't even hear you. I could see you, but I couldn't hear you.
yeah, always a little bit of a
Always
delay
something.
there.
Oh, okay. So how are
I
you
am doing
doing?
good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for
No
joining us
problem. No
today.
problem at all.
So Meg is, I don't know how many people, but she's a few people above me in our business. And if you've ever been in network marketing or an MLM, maybe you had this kind of support, but I know previously in my previous company that I was trying to build a business with, I never had this kind of support. So I am so very grateful and thankful for you for being willing to come on and talk to us, and also for just all of your support. I truly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So Meg is a mom of four. She's a military wife. You're a
Yeah.
student, correct?
Yeah.
Aren't you in school too? I'm like, how the heck is this woman doing it all? And she's also running a very successful business in network marketing. We're on the same team, like I said. So I just wanted to bring her on so she could explain and talk to you guys a little bit how she does it all.
Yeah.
So take it away,
Yeah.
girl.
So thanks for having me on today. I'm sorry I have a little bit of a summer cold. So sorry I sound a little bit funny, but I'm excited to be here with you because I love connecting down into, I hate the term like my downline, but I prefer to call it like people who have trusted me enough to join me in business. I think that's a real honor, and I don't think that's anything that needs to be overlooked. So I just want to like thank you for, joining and accepting and kind of trusting me enough to help you build something that you have been dreaming about. And as far as, doing it all, I've been in this industry for 6 years, and it started right after I had my second. I started in this industry right after I had my second, got pregnant right away with my third, and then right away with my fourth. And my boys are now, um, next month will be 4, 5, 6, and then my daughter is 8. So there was a very intense period when I was, starting my business, and having baby after baby. My husband's military, so he was gone 80 to 90% of the year, every year. And the thing that I learned was that there's really no such thing as doing it all. Things get left behind. I had to learn what was worth my time and what wasn't, and that started with being aware of how I was spending my time. So I physically got to this point where I'm like, I'm so overwhelmed that if anybody asks me to do anything, I'm going to lose my mind on them. And it was not going to be good. And I recognize that, thankfully, I recognized that before I actually did lose my mind on someone. But I had to take a 72-hour period and write down everything that I did. So if I spent 10 minutes unloading the dishwasher, I wrote that down. If I spent 15 minutes folding laundry, I did that. And what I discovered when I wrote down for 3 solid days with no real effort to be a little more productive or be a little, I was just honest with like, this is how I normally live, so I'm just going to track it. Um, I discovered that I actually had more time than I thought, more time than I was telling myself. And I was spending a lot of time doing things that didn't need to be done. The biggest one on there was Netflix, which is funny, right? But I would sit down and I'm like, okay, I'm going to start a show and fold laundry. Well, it took me 10 minutes to fold laundry and I watched an hour-long show. That's 50 minutes of wasted time. And you know what? If that's what people need to disconnect or give themselves a breather, I'm not here to judge. I always tell people, especially moms with young kids, like take your time. You know what I mean? But just be honest with yourself in that. And is this moving you towards your goals? So then the second thing that I did was once I was aware of my time and how I was spending it, is I really separated what deserves my time. Like, do I want to spend 50 minutes watching Netflix? Does that really help me reset? Or do I want to spend 30 minutes going on a walk, or 30 minutes journaling, or reading, or something that fills me back up, or 20 minutes on the phone with a good friend talking about nothing but just social stuff, like not business. There's no like agenda behind it, the things that fill me back up, going to the dog park or, whatever it was at the time. And I would schedule those into, and those were just as important to me as all of the important to do items, such as, take the kids here or be on this call or have this meeting. Sit on the couch and journal 15 minutes was an appointment, and I didn't ever cancel it. And I made
Mm-hmm.
that time. And I found that when I started doing that, my boundaries got stronger, and I had to really enforce that. It was a struggle, and it was a struggle not just for me because I was in the tendency, like I remember going to my daughter's kindergarten orientation and like physically sitting on my hands because they were talking about how they needed somebody to run the PTA and they were really looking for volunteers and was anybody, and they just kept saying it and I'm like, no, Megan, you cannot do that. Like, no, no, no. Because I knew that that was not in alignment with where I wanted to be in the next year. And so for me, it was about number one, being aware of how I was spending my time. And then number two, being very intentional from there with was what I was doing worth my time? Was it getting me where I wanted to be? And scheduling in the things that are necessary. Because as business owners, moms, students, full-time employees, plus side jobs or whatever, we have to really take care of ourselves or we're going to run ourselves into the ground. And so scheduling in that time to do for myself every day was the key for me.
I think that's a fantastic point because I know, like, for me, a few years ago, I was not putting myself on the priority list at all. And I was the unhealthiest I've ever been in my life. Just super stressed, and you know how mom life is, work life, and all the variables. And if we're not taking care of ourselves, we can't possibly give our best, or even half our best in my case, to the people that we love the most. So I agree, like scheduling that time in for yourself is so, so, so crucial. And I think it's so overlooked, especially as parents and moms. Just because a mom, I'm going to speak from a mom perspective. Like, we give so much to our kids, and it's like at the end of the day, we have nothing left to give to ourselves or anybody
Well, and
else. And that's just really,
yeah, at the end of
go
it
ahead.
all, we don't have anything left to give to them. And then we're leaving them high and dry because we overextended ourselves and we didn't take care of that. And that for
Hmm.
me, it was just like, what kind of example are you setting? Where is this leading? Like long term, is this sustainable? Like I
Hmm.
had to really, and I think that especially as moms, that's selfish to take time for yourself or take, self-care is kind of a buzzword right now. But in truth, taking care of yourself enables you to take care of all the other things, because if you're not full, you don't have anything to give to anybody else. And so it really is taking care of yourself. It should be step one for everyone that wants to serve and help other people.
Hmm. And I hear all the time, like, people, they want to do something different. They want more in their lives. They want more fulfillment. They want to earn a better income, but the time factor, like, I don't have enough time. I'm so busy. And a lot of people are busy, but I think that point you also brought up about, just tracking your day for 3 days will really open
Yeah.
your eyes to what you're spending your time on. And you may realize that you do actually have time, because I know I did that exercise because Meg suggested that for me too. And I did it and I was like, wow, okay, I can fit some things in here and there. And it's just awareness, and becoming self-aware is just a huge step in your progression
Mhm.
as a human being. And it will it will impact all of your life. So I think that's a great tip. Thank you for sharing that with us. Um, I just wanted to talk about a little bit. What did you do before network
Yeah,
marketing?
so that's fun. I I had a really my so my 20s was very um, condensed. It was very intense, I suppose. So I graduated high school. I went to college. Decided college was not my thing. I went to cosmetology school, and that's where I met my husband when I was in school. And I graduated. I got a job as a stylist, and then we got married. And so we got married in January. I found out I was pregnant in April and in November, so I was due end of December. So in November, I actually quit my salon job and became, got ready for the holidays and be a stay-at-home mom and that kind of thing. So I was actually a stay-at-home mom after being a
Okay.
cosmetologist.
Okay. I didn't know that. And I was really curious
Yeah.
about that. I meant to ask you that, but prior to this, but I thought
Yeah,
I'll just
and
ask her
and it
on
was
Friday.
one of those things that was like, I really want to do this. It was such a fun career for the short amount the short amount of time that I got to do it. But for me, after I had my second, we had just finished our third move. Was it the third? Fourth? I think it was our fourth move actually. And my husband was in a very intense training pipeline. He was gone a lot, and I wasn't willing to go back to the salon and work nights and weekends when they really need people. Because if my husband was going to be home, it was going to be in those
Hmm.
hours, and it was an if. So I needed childcare backup. And as a hairstylist, night and weekend care for two children, I wasn't going to make any money. So that's really kind of what drew me to network marketing, the community, the challenge for myself. I want to do something, but I'm not ready to trade time with my kids or work around childcare for
Hmm.
them. But I still want to challenge myself. I still want to be engaged professionally. And so that network marketing was the perfect fit for me.
Awesome. And you were with another company prior to the company that we are
Yep.
with currently,
Yep. I
correct?
was. It was
Can you
I was just going to say
go
it
ahead?
was health and fitness, and this was kind of a transition for me into health and wellness, which was a lot more in alignment with kind of how I like.
What would you say is like the biggest difference? Like, why did you
Yeah.
switch?
So for me, I switched because at the time I had been with my previous company almost 4 years, and about year two, I had hit a plateau, and I did really well in that company. I was in the top 1% there, and I loved the community. I loved my customers. I loved the team that I was working with, but I wasn't growing. And what that did for me was it opened my eyes to here's what's possible within this industry, within the industry of network marketing. And it opened my eyes enough to see what was possible, but it didn't give me the proper training and the proper tools to actually attain that for myself. Because there's a huge difference between here's this opportunity and here's the success. Those are really different. And the difference is the
Hmm.
training, the difference is the education, the difference is the posture that you have and the confidence that you have. And that was really lacking. Um, I was lacking that in my previous company. And so as I hit that plateau and I saw not just me hitting it, but not everybody else, but a lot of other people having the same struggles, getting the same answers, trying the same things, and just doing more and more and more. It was this level of burnout, kind of, like spinning your wheels kind of thing. Like, okay, like I've tried, I've done everything
Hmm.
that I've been told for a long period of time. It wasn't just, oh, I tried for a month and it didn't work. It was, years.
Hmm.
And I wasn't seeing growth that I knew was possible. And so I was burnt out with it. And then I was and I was ready to kind of just fade away from it, honestly, because I thought maybe this just isn't for me. Maybe it's me. I was approached with Visail, and I spoke with Rick, I spoke with Kim, and it was a very different conversation. The things that they talked about, the aspects of their business and this industry that they spoke about, and the way that they presented it to me, I knew that there was something that I still could learn. And I was faced with the question of, do you want to just fade away and know what this opportunity is, but just decide it wasn't for you or you weren't cut out for this? Or do you want to see if maybe some different training, some different techniques could get you to the opportunity that you see, could get you to that success that you want for yourself and that you've dreamed of? And I knew that I had to take the chance. I knew that I had to see if it was me that was the reason I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
succeeding, or if maybe it was just some other external factor that I could shift. And being that this was still in health and wellness, I felt like, okay, these products are still very much in alignment with with how I believe, what I want to promote, how, the lifestyle that I value. Um, the the community was still there. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not seeing success with my company, but I love my community. I just want to encourage you, like that
Mm-hmm.
community, obviously not the same people, right? But there's people who will love you. There's people who will love on you and help you and encourage you, and that's everywhere you go. So, I mean, it can be everywhere you go. So don't stay somewhere where you're not seeing the success that you want because you feel like loyal to the community. That's friendship. This is business, and that was one of the biggest switches here, where
Yeah.
it was like, listen, no hate, no shade thrown at anybody else, but this is business. And if you want to succeed,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be assertive about that and say, I'm going to do what's best for me and my business, and go forward in that. And that confidence that I learned from backing up to how they postured the industry, the way that they presented it, that really made a huge difference in my level of success.
Mm-hmm. My story is similar. I wasn't in the business as long as you were, for a few years though. And, I really gave it my all. I really did. And I just burnt myself out because it wasn't balanced. Like I was putting so much
Yeah.
effort in, but I wasn't seeing, reaching my goals or seeing the growth. So I had to kind of like take a step back. I didn't stop, but I just kind of like did some soul searching. And I realized, which I had known all along because I would complain about it to my boyfriend. But sometimes you just have to,
Yeah.
it just clicks. And so I knew that what I needed was, and this is nothing negative about anybody because most of the people in network marketing are taught how to do
Yeah.
it wrong. So they're
Yeah.
teaching how to do it wrong. They just don't know. Um, so I knew I needed business education because I'm a counselor mostly for kids in foster care, and I love
Yeah.
my job, my full-time job, but I have no experience in business or, financial education or any of that. So I knew that's what I needed. So I was just about to sign up with this online school to teach me how to build a
Yep.
business online. And then the stars aligned and this came into my life. And one of the first things that my upline told me was that there was a business school. And I was like, wait, what? Like a business school, like a real business, like
Yeah.
people who know what they're doing in this industry teaching you. And she was like, yes. And that is what sold it for me because I knew that's what was missing for me. And I've since learned being in this business school that is so common.
Yeah.
It's 98% of the people feel this way, which I had no idea. I thought, gosh, it must be me. Like I must just really
Exactly.
suck at
And I
this.
think it's you explained it so perfectly and really place that value on the business school, because so many people come into this business as counselors or stay-at-home moms or I'm a teacher or whatever, and they have no real business experience. And then they give themselves 6 months or a year and they're like, why am I not earning six figures? Why am I not a millionaire? So and so did it, this person did it. Yeah, there's a lot of things that go into those other paths that maybe you didn't see, but it's unrealistic to expect somebody with no business experience to jump in and just know what to do and know how to do it. And I don't care what
Mm-hmm.
anybody tells you. It's not a three-step process. Just invite, invite, invite. Like that is not a thing. It's going to get you burnout. It's going to get you blocked. It's going to frustrate you. It's going to make you feel constantly rejected. Um, but when you have something that's teaching you, and if you think about this industry that pays out $1 billion a week to the partners in different companies, um, you don't get to just come in here and earn a six salary without any sweat, without any knowledge put into your brain. Like that, there is lots to learn. And just like you wouldn't, walk into a doctor's office and say, I'm a doctor now and I need that salary, so I think you should have some Tylenol. Like, no, there's things
Mm.
that you have to learn before you can do that. And I think that people really overlook that. And so our business school is one of the most valuable things that makes the difference that I have seen in over and over and over and over again. People who have come to me and said, this is my third company, my fifth company, or maybe even just their second. But I never saw success with my other brand. And now I've seen it tenfold just because they've learned to posture, they've learned to have conversations with people of influence, they've learned to present the industry in ways that are compelling because this is a compelling industry. This is the business of the future. And I always say the future is now, right? So this is the business of now. And this is how people are doing things. And you just have to go to a shopping mall to see that. You know, stores are closing left
Mm-hmm.
and right. And people are doing
I
business
know.
online. People want to do business with people they know. They want to buy things to support families that they love. And so this is how it's being done now. And learning how to leverage that to your benefit is what we teach.
Correct. And not only that, because I'm a researcher, so like I was bound and determined to figure it out, even if it took me 10 years, but then I burnt myself out. But so I was all on YouTube like
Yeah.
every day, like in my car, when I'm in the shower, doing dishes, like trying to learn this business. But what was lacking was the collaboration, the feedback, like
Yeah.
this right here. That's what was missing. And I was telling my mom that I spoke a little bit about this last week too, because I just think it's so important. I was telling my mom that, and has 30 years experience in real estate. She's very successful in the area. And I was like, I never had this before, this mentorship where we're actually like, where I'm learning from people who are more successful than me. I'm aligning myself with people who are more successful than me so that I can learn and duplicate what they're doing. And she said, Amy, that should never end. She goes, I go to network meetings every week, um, to be constantly in the student role, the learning role. Like it's so important. And it's so true. Like with my full-time job, like we're constantly like, I have supervision where we're giving feedback to each other,
Yeah.
bouncing ideas off each other. And like, that is such a huge part of growth and learning. And I think that too is also very overlooked and not very prevalent in this business with other
Yeah.
companies and other
Yeah, and
teams.
that's our motto. It's stronger together, and I have seen that walked out so many times. I can say my strongest mentors are not in my direct upline. They're sideline people, and they have no benefit to my business, and I'm talking with them regularly, and they help me and they guide me.
Mm-hmm.
And my direct upline is also very supportive and helpful. Um, but it's this idea that we don't have to compete. We have this idea, this abundance mindset. We can brainstorm, we can collaborate, we can work together. I can just help you out, then you can help me out, and we're a team and we work together. And I haven't seen that. You're right. There's such a direct line sometimes in other companies and a competition that just doesn't exist here. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm really grateful for that.
So Mike, because I felt very alone, but like I can be stubborn. So I'm like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
figure this out, even if it takes
Yeah.
me forever. But then I'm like, okay, I'm putting so much into this. It's cutting into my time with my
Yeah.
daughter. And I started to feel guilty, and that mom guilt thing. It's like, okay, I gotta
Yeah.
figure this out. I gotta like go inward and figure
And
this
I think
out.
I think that's a common thing.
So
It's like I can't quit. I can't quit. I just can't quit. I think that's one of the things Dallin Larson, our CEO, said. He's like, you got to finish that sentence though. Just don't quit on yourself. And when you have been with
exactly.
a company and you have been doing the things that you've been told and you've been doing them consistently for a significant period of time and you're not seeing that forward motion, maybe it's not you. and it's time to consider that. And I
Mhm.
think that I'm the first person to say, nope, you need to look at your business, you need to look at your own activities, you need to make sure you're consistent. Like, do what you can do that's in your control, but sometimes it's external factors. And a shift is okay if that's in alignment with your goals and how you want to move forward. So I think that that's really important to remember. It's like, just don't quit on yourself.
Exactly. That's something that I always say as well. It's like if something's not right for you, have the awareness to realize that after you've, given a
Yep,
genuine effort in it. Like you're not going to like see a huge amount of success in a short
right.
period of time. Like you have to really genuinely make an effort. And then you also have to like along the way self-evaluate and evaluate the whole situation.
Absolutely.
And because I have in my past have a tendency to stick with things way too long that I should
Yep,
have walked away from. But now that's Amy in the past. Now it's like self-awareness and self-reflection is a part of my morning routine, and it's huge, and it's so hard to get out of your own head. But gosh, if you can just make it a practice, like your life will change in so many ways when you start to actually look at your life from outside of yourself.
absolutely. Absolutely.
um, okay, I just have one
Okay.
more question for you because I got to get back to my
Okay.
full-time job. But I was going to say something, but never mind. Okay, so my last question: what are the top 2 to 3 symptom relief experiences that you have had with our
Oh, good
products?
one. Okay, um, so for me, I part of the reason that I wanted to go to beauty school was because I have suffered since kindergarten. I have from kindergarten, um, had a diagnosis of alopecia, which is hair loss. And um, at the time when I was introduced to Viseo, I had been in wigs for 8 years. Pregnancy
Oh, wow.
really exacerbated everything that disease, uh, all the symptoms. And so for me, the Renew and the Core were life changing for me. I started in April, and by October, all my spots that I had lost had filled in. And by the next spring, so this was in 2018, I was able to go back to my natural hair and really just grow that. And I know that I just want to say that's not everybody's experience, but alopecia is an autoimmune issue, and that is inflammation, chronic inflammation in your body. And when your system does not know how to turn off, and it's always attacking something. And so Renew helps your system know when to turn off and when to um, stop attacking things. And so my body was able to kind of get a break and heal itself. And then the core, of course, as just a basic multivitamin, probiotic, fish oil thing, um, was able to give my body what it needed to grow healthy hair. And so I won't say that I'm like, oh, it's totally cured me and it's perfect and wonderful, but it's made a huge difference in that for me. It's also, I would say the core has made a huge difference in my energy levels. Um, just as a mom, like having 4 pregnancies in 4 years, like that takes a lot out of you. I was exhausted. And taking naps every day, drinking energy drinks every day, was not able to get past that no matter what I was eating or exercising or just I was able to figure it out. And the core, I think, really came in and filled some of those gaps for me. So I wasn't so deficit in some really important vitamins and minerals. And then the V3 just as an extra energy supplement. So those are my three like very favorite ones.
Yes, I love V3 as well, and Core and Renew. I haven't taken Renew that
Yeah.
much, but I took it the other day because I had a migraine, and I had read on our testimonial page that people have been taking it for migraine. So I was like, oh, I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
Wow, like it really helped. Like usually I take packets of
Okay.
BC powder all
Mm-hmm.
day long, like when I get these headaches. And then and these migraines usually are headaches, whatever
Yeah.
they are, I don't even know. But all I know is I feel like I'm going to throw up, and they usually take me
Yeah.
out for the day. It's horrible. And but I was able to take the Renew along with the CBD, and in just like an hour and a half, I
So
felt
much better.
fine. I could
That's
go to work,
awesome.
which is so much better. It was amazing. So,
That's
and
awesome.
my boyfriend actually takes that for his back pain, and he likes it a
Awesome.
lot.
Yeah, yeah. And I want to say again,
So,
because I just like to be really compliant and clear here, these are not intended to like treat and diagnose any, or not treat and cure, sorry, treat and cure any specific disease. But the testimonials are pretty undeniable when you get into that group and you see like, wow, this and this and this. And when you're suffering from something like alopecia or chronic headaches or chronic fatigue, and you're like, I just need something, even if it doesn't like cure it, even if it just helps me 50%, it's worth a try. You know
hmm
what I mean? And when it's natural and it's, totally safe,
yeah,
whole food based and all of that, like, oh yeah, totally worth a try. So I always recommend it to people, like,
yeah,
just give it a try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Whatever. You
absolutely.
know?
Right. Yeah, the
Yeah.
products are amazing. All right. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you chatting with me and coming on, and I'm sure I'll have you back on again
Absolutely. Thank you
soon.
so much for having me. Have a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye bye.